Okay, buckle up, everyone. We're about to dive into some pretty intense crypto drama today.
Yeah, this one's got all the elements, doesn't it? We're talking about MEXC, that huge Seychelles-based crypto exchange.
Exactly. They had a major crisis recently. Lots of panic on social media, specifically X, withdrawals getting halted, that kind of thing.
It's a fascinating look, really, at what can happen when things scale up maybe too fast.
Right.
We saw MEXC go from this massive withdrawal scare, serious accusations flying around, to this incredibly blunt apology.
Almost shockingly blunt, you could say. So that's our plan for this deep dive. We want to walk you through exactly what happened. We'll look at the first signs, the technical glitches maybe,
Right, and then the big one, this user dispute that just exploded.
and finally, how the exchange responded, moving from, total crisis mode right through to that apology.
Yeah.
We need to figure out how one single user issue nearly tanked confidence in a multi-million-dollar platform.
It really hammers home how crucial trust is in this space. It's everything. Fragile stuff.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The panic didn't come out of nowhere. There were technical signs first, right? What was the initial trigger?
Well, the first real flag was raised by a market analyst, J.A. Martin. They put out this chart, and it showed a really significant spike in withdrawal transactions. This was around midday Friday.
Okay, so like a sudden rush for the exits.
Exactly. That's the first sign something might be up, that people are getting nervous. And immediately, the chatter starts, is the exchange going bankrupt? That kind of fear.
A withdrawal spike is definitely a worry, but it feels like something else must have poured gasoline on that fire. What turned that initial worry into, like, full-blown panic?
There was a specific incident. A researcher called Hanzo highlighted it pretty quickly. It involved this one user known online as the White Whale.
The white whale.
Yeah.
Okay, and their story really became the focal point.
Absolutely. It crystallized everything. The White Whale came out saying their account was just suspended, locked, funds totally inaccessible.
That's like that. What was the reason given?
Well, that's the thing. The White Whale insisted they were doing normal trading. Said specifically without the use of bots or APIs, basically arguing the suspension was completely out of the blue, no justification.
And we're not talking small change here, are we? That's probably key.
Oh, absolutely not. This is what made it grab headlines instantly. The White Whale estimated the locked funds was somewhere between $3 million and $5 million.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, locking up that kind of money gets attention. It's not just a customer service ticket anymore, is it?
Not at all. It instantly becomes a potential crisis of confidence for the entire exchange. Everyone starts wondering, could that happen to me?
Right. So you've got the technical signal, this huge user account frozen.
Right.
Then it escalates to direct conflict with MEXC leadership. Correct. The user said customer support was useless?
Pretty much. He said he got nowhere with regular support, which led him to engaging directly with Cecilia Hoa. She's the exchange's new chief strategy officer, the CSO.
And that interaction
Oh,
didn't go well.
that's putting it mildly. According to the White Whale, it got really tense. He alleged that the CSO actually pressured him, said she wanted him to admit he'd broken the rules, and implied that was the condition for getting his millions back.
Hold on. Pressure him to admit fault to get his own money back? He
Yeah.
denied doing anything wrong.
He firmly denied it, publicly. That allegation is just
Look,
explosive.
How did the CSO, Cecilia Shu, and MEXC respond to that specific claim initially, I mean?
Their first reaction was, well, not great. Aggressive, actually. The CSO posted publicly saying their conversation should have stayed private. Then she accused the White Whale of basically twisting the facts.
Okay, a bit defensive, maybe, but
Then they made arguably a huge mistake. MEXC announced they were going to pursue legal action against him, against the White Whale, for alleged misinformation.
Wait, sorry. They threatened to sue the user whose $5 million they were currently holding up.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
That just seems like pouring fuel on the fire. Why would that backfire so badly in the crypto space?
Because the crypto community, it really values transparency, and it tends to side with the user against big platforms, threatening lawsuits, especially when you're holding someone's assets hostage like that. It just reads as bullying, heavy-handed intimidation.
So it created a backlash.
A massive one. It wasn't just the White Whale anymore. Other people started speaking up. Big names, too, like the researcher Zach XBT got involved. Suddenly, lots of users were saying, hey, me too. I've had similar problems with MEXC.
So that's the turning point. It shifts from maybe one difficult user to a potential pattern of problems.
Exactly. The perception flipped. Is this a systemic issue with MEXC's risk management? or their operations. And that's when the real panic selling or withdrawing started. People were posting warnings everywhere. Get your money out now.
The classic crypto bank run, basically triggered by this standoff.
The whole thing is spiraling. The exchange must have realized they were losing the PR war badly. They couldn't fight the whole community.
Which leads us to that. Remarkable turnaround. A complete U-turn. Tell us about the apology. The language was something else.
It really was. Cecilia Schuett, the CSO, posted this very direct, very public apology. First, she confirmed the white whale's withdrawal had been processed. His money was out.
Okay, action first? Good.
Then the quote. She said, and this is verbatim, "We fucked up. We apologized to at the White Whale V2, and his money is already released."
Ooh, wow. So
That's
it's
we fucked up.
You almost never hear that from a corporate entity, let alone a crypto exchange.
It's incredibly blunt. No corporate jargon, no hedging, just admitting a massive error. She also added personally that she messed up in communicating with him and that she got emotional and shouldn't have.
So a personal apology layered on the corporate one, and crucially, the money was already sent back.
Yeah, the action backed up the words. That was vital to de-escalate things quickly.
Okay, so crisis averted, maybe, but it leaves the huge question hanging. Why did this happen? Did the CSO offer any explanation for the meltdown in the first place?
She did. She tied it directly to MEXC's growth. Basically, she said they'd grown incredibly fast over the last few years, starting small.
Right. Explosive growth is common in crypto.
But the problem, she admitted, was that their internal systems, their infrastructure, just didn't keep pace.
So the trading engine and user numbers shot up, but the back office couldn't handle it.
Precisely her point. She specifically called out their risk, operations, and PR teams, said they have not kept up with the sheer scale MEXC operates at now.
That's a pretty candid admission. It basically says the system was fragile.
Yeah, it suggests they were kind of running on fumes, operationally speaking, just waiting for a high-stress event like this one to expose those weaknesses.
And did she commit to fixing it? To regain trust?
Yes. She stressed that the leadership now recognizes this gap, and she publicly committed saying, we're going to change that, which is, a huge promise to make, especially about improving internal controls and transparency.
A necessary promise, I guess. But even with the apology and the white whale getting his funds, there was still that lingering fear, right? The original bankruptcy rumors that kicked things off.
Exactly. They still needed to address the solvency question directly. The operational mess needed separating from financial health.
So what was the official word from MEXC on their financial status?
They put out a formal statement tackling those unverified rumors regarding MEXC's financial status head-on. They had to kill that narrative.
The bottom line was?
Completely unambiguous. They stated the bankruptcy claims were false and misleading. They assured everyone the exchange is financially healthy. And the key phrase, the one everyone needed to hear, all user assets are fully backed.
Right. That's the core assurance needed to stop a full-scale withdrawal panic.
Hopefully. It was the final piece needed to try and stabilize the ship after that massive storm.
What a roller coaster. So looking back at this whole deep dive, we went from a concerning chart to this high-stakes $5 million standoff.
Fueled by a really ill-advised legal threat.
It's all culminating in this astonishingly frank, we fucked up apology, admitting their own systems weren't up to snuff. It's quite the case study in modern crisis management, isn't it?
It really is. And what it lays bare, I think, is that fundamental tension for any fast-growing crypto platform. You've got this pressure for explosive growth, new users, new tokens.
The exciting stuff.
Yeah, the exciting stuff. But you have to balance that against the, let's be honest, kind of boring but absolutely essential stuff. Yeah. Solid risk controls, professional PR, smooth operations.
And when, as the CSO admitted, your internal teams haven't kept pace with your size.
Then it just takes one trigger, one big user issue, one technical glitch, and boom, the whole thing can teeter towards panic. Because that operational failure immediately feeds fears about solvency.
Like we saw with the withdrawal spike starting it all. It becomes a self-feeding loop driven by eroding confidence.
Which really leaves a critical question for you, the listener, doesn't it? If an exchange's own leadership admits their risk and ops teams aren't adequate for their scale, what are you supposed to look for? What concrete signs of transparency or robust controls should you demand before trusting a platform with your assets?
Especially when one person's problem can cause ripples that affect everyone. The promise of crypto is decentralization. But using these big exchanges still involves a huge amount of centralized trust.
Exactly. How do you verify that trust is warranted before the crisis hits? Something to definitely think about.